Welcome to Twin Flame Abundance Live. We are going to do a live oracle card reading backed up by Divine Mother herself. And we are going to find out more what all souls that have departed, that are in purgatory. More about that in a second. Think about union. Have advice for us for union. Twin flame union, of course. Which is, in the first place, did you know that? Union with the divine itself. And then, automatically, naturally, what comes to you is the true twin flame. And what comes to you is truly being happy. And everything that belongs to that, your complete abundance too. Whatever that is for you. Resources, connections, money, happiness, health, sanity, everything. Family, children, whatever you like. Halloween pumpkins, if that's your thing. Well, this is like sort of the last Halloweeny day, I think, that we're going to have on my channel this year. I think it's just a lot of fun to have that as a theme when it is that time of year, But yeah, the pumpkins have disappeared. That's true. So, but actually, this is sort of a Hallowtide, or like there are a couple of days around this time that are sort of connected, and one of them is exactly today on this Saturday. And it is All Souls Day, according to tradition. And that means that, well, on Halloween, it's actually like the eve of All Saints Day in tradition, the eve of when sort of the forces beyond the grave come to you, which are actually the same as soul forces purely, because what that means is that people have lost their body life, their earth life, but they still have their soul. Because during your earth life, you are a soul, actually, underneath it as the foundation. And when you left your body behind, because it's not working out for you anymore to be here at this time, you'll still be a soul. And that is the eternal part of what you are. So the saints know that and live that. That's why they are saints, because they have made that fully conscious during their physical life, that they are that. Yeah, that makes them saintly. And that was yesterday, the day after the Hallow Eve, the eve of that day. And then today, the tradition says that it is all about the souls that are sort of in between. They have passed on from life, but they're still working out if they can be in the eternity of their soul in a positive way, or if that doesn't really work out for them. They're working that out, and that's what they call the souls in purgatory. And that is, as tradition says, what everyone sort of goes through, most everyone. And then you work that out, that you are actually a soul in the eternal sense. And then you move on to another phase. But there's something very specific for twin flames, for you and your union, desire in your heart. And that is that, well, sort of a secret, but let's just bring it to you right here, especially for this traditional All Souls Day. And that is that as a twin flame, going to your true union, being with your actual twin flame, not the one you think is your twin flame, and keep on connecting that development to your core, which is your divine core. Keep on connecting it there. Keep on connecting it there first. Keep on connecting it there as priority. That guarantees that the twin flame stays around, that it's truly joyful, that you can start your mission, that it all works out and keeps on working out in the real deal as well, which is rare if you look around in the landscape of what people are saying and thinking and talking about on social media. Truly rare. If you still think that all these other channels that talk about twin flames are actually talking about twin flames, I don't know what to say. They're not talking about twin flames. Most of them, anyways. But they use the word twin flames, I understand. Okay, so go back to the topic, Petra. So it's just so painful to me, and so blatant, I think I need to say that a whole bunch of times more. Maybe it then also starts to seep into you, that you really understand it. But anyway, so when you go to your actual true twin flame, you actually, and this is the big secret that you didn't know yet, and we're going to reveal it on All Souls Day. Here it is. You go through this development already by life. When you go to your true twin flame in harmonious union, the consciousness state that it is all about, you make sure that you go through the movement of going to your soul, knowing that that is your eternal priority, and you do actually prioritize it, and you are with your twin flame, and you come in the harmonious twin flame union, and you will go deeper together because you commit to that. That is what you want. That is the union that you want. So there you go. And then you keep on moving forward in that exact way, which is one inner alignment, only that. And you keep on moving forward as that, then you will experience the successive stages that are said to be true by tradition, which is you will move through this moment of when you feel like the world has ended for me. That's why we had yesterday this very Halloweeny card reading. You can still find it on my channel. Go to my channel page. About your end of the world experience with your true twin flame in harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state. That's why we had that, because you will experience your ego death, and therefore also the world as you knew it will pass away. But you're still alive. You're still with your twin flame in harmonious twin flame union and stuff. You will go through this experience if you commit, if you keep at it, etc. And it is the direction that you want to go, because it is leading you to the heaven on earth situation that it's all about. That is beyond anything that you can imagine. Well, or in other words, maybe it's better to say it is precisely what you imagine as your ultimate life. Well, maybe even more precisely, it is the ultimate life according to God for your soul. That's what that is. Heaven on earth. And you are going in that direction, moving forward. And then you will experience this time slot in which you feel as though you are going through purgatory. And that's also what that is. But then by life. And I know that because I lived that. And this is the time in which you work all kinds of things out that you hadn't before. That in a time in which you might be rejected by other people that don't understand what you're doing because you need to work something out with self rejection. It's the time in which, yeah, sort of seemingly negative, quote unquote, things might happen. That you would be like, oh, but I thought that everything would be nice here now, right? Well, you're on the way towards your heaven on earth. And towards that, you go through this phase in which there is some time, some space unique for you in which you're working some stuff out with the divine. It's like, oh, divine, now I am indeed stepping into this real deal stuff here. The real deal of your heaven experience together with your true twin flame. Yes, dear divine, that's true. Let us see eye to eye here. Are there still things that I need to let go of? Lessons that I need to learn? They will be presented to you there for your benefit. Because if you come at the place where I'm now, you will be at the brink of going into your actual heaven experience by life, together with your true twin flame on the soul level on the earth. And that's what you will experience, whether you believe it or not, whether you want to give it another name, other names for these phases, that's fine for me. These are just traditional names for it, and they are correct. So I suggest we use them. And I think that all souls on All Souls Day that are, well, most of them have indeed departed because this whole development is still very new for twin flames, which is in fact everyone, because everyone is a twin flame, because everyone has that deeper soul level where their soul clicks in with their spirit, where you're directly connected to the divine. But you can like keep that away. And that's what most people still do, right? So that's why we have, of course, mostly people that All Souls Day tries to point at, tries to make you remember and honor, that are already departed, and then they are dealing with these phases for themselves on the soul level. And we're not really talking about a lot of people that work with these phases by life in the twin flame new leading edge spiritual opportunity for attainment that is rolling out right now within God's will, but that is still very new. So we're talking about this thing, all souls that have passed, most of them, that are in this phase of in between. In between, well, they left their world as they knew it, right? Their death. And their heaven experience, like, I have nothing to work out anymore and now everything is awesome for me episode. There are also people that reject all of this by life and in death, and they don't have anything to work out. They just deny all of it. Yeah. mm, that also exists. That's what they call hell. And many people by life live in hell because they don't have a living connection with these things. And again, this might sound like, oh, but that sounds old fashioned or whatever, but it is actually an accurate description. You can use other names. Well, if you want to use other names, let me know with a comment below how you would like to call these phases of your soul's life. Alternatively, let me know. So yeah, we are actually talking about hell, purgatory, heaven. That's a development of the soul. And it is more or less like denying the soul, working things out, everything good. That's sort of what it is. But like most traditionally, most people that we talk about on this feast day of All Souls is they've deceased, they didn't go to hell, but they're working things out between God and them before they can go to heaven. And they do have merit. They do have spiritual power. Let's say they do have a desire to go to heaven. They do have grace. And that's also why it is also traditionally said that we can connect with these souls in that phase and that it is beneficial for us and for them. It's like mutually beneficial. Interesting, no? But if I look at myself, that's for sure true, because in this phase, I've manifested myself as a twin flame union teacher, like on top of the spiritual teacher that I already was. But in this phase, I was able to be a twin flame teacher in life, in the flesh. I'm still alive, I think. And that has been greatly beneficial for the people that came to me. Oh, there were so many incredibly deep gifts that were given through me to them that gave them immediately their true twin flame that came to them out of nowhere sometimes in our community. Really. The miracles were so huge, like you can't believe. And I was only still in purgatory, working this out. And now I'm on the brink of going into heaven in a more sustainable way. So yeah, we're going to see what that brings. Well, I will open the school in a bigger capacity. So I think that has everything to do with that as well, right? With this inner development. So with which I wanted to say that I was helpful for people, truly helpful in purgatory. So these other All Souls Day, that's today, 2nd of November, 2024, traditionally All Souls Day, they are also helpful for us to connect. And they do know something about connecting with the divine. They do have power, they have merit. So that is why we are connecting with All Souls on All Souls Day and talk about union. What do they know about union? And are they on the road there after their death? What happens there? Will they return to Earth to have also an Earth experience of union with their true twin flame? Do they feel that union is coming together with God, or that it is also together with their twin flame, which is what we do now, what we do here, what we do with a new kind of guidance of God, with a new opening up of a spiritual possibility? Do they know about that? Yesterday, I have prayed for the souls in purgatory, and I let God decide which soul would benefit from that, whether it was you or someone else. And I did connect with someone that could see me, and I saw them. And that was God that organized that. And I let that happen. And yeah. And all of that was also a form of working something out with God from myself, because I had actually an error about purgatory that I have resolved. And I was told that this was also sort of my last piece of work before I can go to heaven. So, yeah, there we go. I think I did my homework and now I want to share of that. That's what it comes down to as well. So I hope this is going to help. And let's see what we're going to do, because we are going to, I think it's logic again, because we had so much success with that. We are going to look again, and let me just prepare this at my own card deck again, just like a last couple of readings on Saturday. So we're going to look at the resources, the goal, the foundation, and the essence. And I think that this is going to be about union and what the souls in purgatory say about what is union. What are the resources for it? What's the goal of it? What's the foundation for it? And what is the essence of it? In a helpful way so that we can all learn about more about what we need to know. And we do that with my own card deck. One, it's just some card that I see and I put it on resources. And now I see this card for goal. My union and mission cards. 3, foundation. And now we do essence. Can you give me a card that I will see? The help of Divine Mother. For essence. Okay. Well, let's see what we have here. Let me open the booklet as well on my screen so that I can read to you what these cards have as a text. And the first card about resources, according to the souls in purgatory on All Souls Day, is finding and specifying of the procedure. That's going to be our resource for union. Yeah, I see where this is going already. Very interesting, very good. Card D 3.1. This is a wand. This is actually a depiction of my biggest wand, which is like a walking stick. That's how big it is. It's made from live wood. It's like the tree spirit is still alive while this branch was cut and made into a beautiful walking stick. And it is a wand and a walking stick at the same time. And it is, again, from live wood with a dryad living inside of it. So I think that dryad is like helping us as well here. Resources for union according to All Souls. Finding and specifying of the procedure. Now, the procedure is in the methodology that I have developed. The way in which energy comes from source to you and flows through you. That is the procedure. And of course, it touches you and it sets something in motion. And there are changes that come of it in you. And that's, of course, going over a time frame of a certain time that you work that out. So that would be the process. But the procedure is always in the now, and it flows from source to you through you. And it's the way in which that is happening right now. That's the procedure. It goes to the now. And it happens in the now. And it eternally happens in the now. So there's no process there. So that's the difference between process and procedure. And that plays a role in how I teach. So let's see how the booklet talks about this phenomenon for this card. Enter the source. Connecting to the core gives a definitive attunement to life and your identity. This then asks for a renewed attunement with your daily life, with the world of forms, relationships, things, money, business, food, identity, love, etc. Both have their place, but start with yourself in the deepest sense always. The second piece will then come afterwards and will adjust in a peaceful manner. This is how you see that development always has two pieces: making contact with the core, that is the procedure, and the slow evolution of the outer forms, which is the process. This is why we also have divided your transformation into two ideas: process and procedure. Well, there they are. Procedure is the way in which you make contact with the core in the moment. Process is the development in time and the results of that. You may be thinking, how do I make that start with procedure? How does that work? This card will assist you with finding your way in it, your procedure. It is by resting or by reaching out, for example, or something else. It's really like a question mark because you can fill that in for yourself. What works best for you? Resting or reaching out or something else. A way for you to get clarity in this matter is what happens right now. Think about your present situation and ask yourself, how does this give an idea about how I can enter the core from here, the soul, the source? You will be surprised as to what kind of wisdom can come forward that is in your current situation about this question, and also about how to change the entire situation by considering it from this point of view. With other words, whatever your situation is, it is actually a way to bring you in connection with the deeper truth of your soul and of source in the now. It is always a way to bring you in connection with your procedure. Even if the situation, like, that sucks, or this is bad, or my twin flame just walked away and I'm just only sad, it is always is visible in your situation. If you have the right glasses on, so to speak, your way of going to your source, your procedure is there. You can derive it from it and then go to your source. And that is the answer to every question that you could ever have. And then a new thing happens for you. A new world opens up for you. Yeah. You have a deeply penetrating insight in situations towards the core of it, and this helps any endeavor, situation, or relationship exponentially forward. Your power can share, you can share with others by considering how they can enter their core from the now. So the souls in purgatory, all souls, say that this is your resource. Your resource is always in any situation, that exact situation, by putting the glasses on of seeing how it can bring you back to you, to your core, where you are connected with the divine itself, with source. And that is the most beautiful resource that you can have, is this procedure, is understanding how you get there. It's understanding that it's always here and it's always for you and it's for you, not against you. And the souls in purgatory, they really know that, because that is what they're learning right now. Is souls in purgatory learn how to deal with everything that they're still carrying with them from life, or when they're still alive, just like in my situation, what they still have hanging around them, even though they are on a further stage of the whole spiritual journey with their twin flame right now. Things are still hanging in and around you about this past life. That is, the world as you knew it has ended, but things are still hanging around you. So souls in purgatory know that you have to use that material, and that God uses that material that still hangs around you for you, to create situations in which you indeed learn what you need to learn to eventually move on to heaven with your twin flame, in alignment with God, on your way to receive everything that you ever desired and that God knows that your soul desires. Souls in purgatory know this. This is everything that they're doing there right now. This is like the spiritual exercise that their life consists of in purgatory. Oh my gosh, this is such a good one. And it even continues in the booklet, so I have to read more to you. And it says this is important. This important card has a second approach to make the meaning extra clear for you because it's so important. There is a second description. And the second description says this card is called Know How. To know how is the question here. Do you know how? The how, the way in which things are done by the universe through you. There may be a specific taste of this how that is specific for how the universe acts through uniquely you. The universe's how exists. Your own unique how as well. The question is, do you have a relationship with it? Is it on the foreground of your experience? Otherwise, you may feel lost right now, or at least within a field of possibilities that seem equal and not a real answer to what you had been praying or asking for. It can be exhausting to be in the middle of these things in life and not understand the way forward that is most fit for the souls and your project's development. Aligning to the how of the universe in the way you specifically hear this vibration come from you makes the difference here. In mantra singing, this they call this the naad. This is like a great um, comparison. When there is singing, that is the field of possible sounds to make, and it can be pleasant or unpleasant. But when you sing bhajans or mantras, then the real thing is when the singing in the sound, there is naad. The naad is when the voice touches the soul while singing. The soul is part of where the sound comes from and shapes it in co-creation with your material voice and singing technique. It is the naad that makes the singing worthwhile and connect the singer and the audience to the soul, which is the true value of the song and the people involved. You are a person that is able to find the how in any situation and professionally that makes you invaluable to any process or group creation process. And in your union that makes you invaluable towards your twin flame. Because you form the anchoring of the work being done in a bigger field of value of the universe. Wow, the souls in purgatory are knowing this, so they are incredibly valuable because they do the actual work. They do the true union work. Union with God, that is, at least. So when you would start to do the true union work with God, at least in the now, in the flesh, while you're still alive, already now, wherever you are on the journey, that is going to be very beneficial for you because you will speed forward. Well, maybe towards harmonious twin flame union, towards your purgatory experience, towards the border of purgatory experience and heaven, where I'm now. And that's true. I've done this work for years, a couple years, very intensely. All the time going back to my inner naad, to my inner procedure, and holding on to that more than results. so-called results that we think we want. But eventually, God knows what you want, what your soul wants. And that is the most freeing, the most happy, the most beautiful, together with your twin flame. Let's go to the next position in this reading, which is going to be the goal. So the souls in purgatory have given us this as the goal. This is going to be interesting because they chose the card money, which I will tell you immediately already is for, maybe you think like, but we were talking about romance here, right? My twin flame. So what does money have got to do with it? Well, first of all, this is the twin flame abundance reading live every week on Saturday. This abundance also consists of money, because money is energy, and energy comes to you when you're in harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state. But money also stands, of course, for, well, the goal itself, the result itself, physical results of whatever kind. With the moon, it's also very much physical sign. So let's see what this card has to say to us, has to tell us, because the souls in purgatory, well, they know something. Money is the goal. There we go. Experiencing essential value in creation. And what you create leads to the condensation of this value in exchangeable forms that can be brought into balance with the environment. So whether that is the condensation in form of energy, your love relationship as in the union space, or it is the condensation of money is energy, in the form of whatever abundance that you like, or money abundance that flows to you, it's the same. So we've been talking lately also a lot about how money and union are the same. Well, there you go again. Making value land on the correct spot. That's the title of this card. Money is the externalized inner value and is a suitable way to bring yourself into balance with your surroundings. Do not bring money in connection with misuse of power. However, you can discern where this illusion is rooted in the world, and this can lead to clarity. You best see money as an idea that stands for the flow of love on the outer plane, and realize that the form of money is only secondarily important. When your manifested form of value with unconditional love is in relationship, then it does not care what form it exactly has: traditional money, digital money, crypto, relationship. Seeing that all the money eventually is a form of energy flow is a grand lesson that can come to you in your kind of way when you are ready. You do not need to manipulate energy for that to make manifested that for yourself. That would only mean that you are now taking the role of the manipulator yourself. And that is not necessary. However, it remains one of the biggest kinds of minds inhabiting the big banking world of the West. Right. The banking world people have manipulated minds, but you do not need to worry about that. The only thing you need to worry about is that how money plays a role in your source connected value system. And you can read all of this also in the union sense. I'm busy with rewriting this book where we have a mission attuned explanation and a union attuned explanation. So I'll make this more clear in the text real soon. It is also about relationship in your union. It's just the same, because many people have a relationship, a union, that's so-called, but they're actually manipulating someone else around. That actually has nothing to do with even a sane relationship. That is a love relationship. It has nothing to do with a love relationship. It's an abusive relationship. Well, that's not a relationship at all, one could say. Let alone a twin flame relationship, let alone a union, let alone a harmonious union. There's nothing to do with it. So, but you can leave that out and say, okay, but I'm going to work with my union energy in a relationship. that manifests in a concrete form, just like money is an energy that has become concrete. And we're not gonna make that concrete in like just like money in the banking world. Yeah, they're sort of having sick minds there. That's for sure true. The highest degree of narcissists. But we're not gonna do that. We're also not going to be against that per se. We just accept that that is something that happens in the world. And the more we make come true our true journey, the more the whole world changes for the better. Also, that kind of thing. And just like we're not gonna have a relationship, and you're like, well, whatever the kind of relationship, I'm just gonna bully my twin flame around and call it a relationship in union. Yeah, no. Well, you won't be able to maintain that divine anchoring that you have there. You can bully your twin flame around whatever you like, but it will turn against you because they are you. So to keep on having this state of harmonious twin flame union, to not be working against yourself, you need to heal that. And that's how this is all also like a huge world healing exercise to come in union, because it will heal you. You have to heal this. It's some sort of a commitment to your healing. And that'll bring you through purgatory in heaven. So don't worry about that. So there was more text. You can heal your money flow by repairing your personal energy field until you are in the state of being of golden flow. And another spiritual movement plays a role as well in your holistic abundance, the way in which the outer form of energy flow, money, is connected and partitioned within your harmonious union with your ultimate co-creational partner and lover, your twin flame. Here, an individual characteristic can be, however, simultaneously a general variant to take into account is that energy or sexual energy, which is the same, is more the divine feminine way of being in the co-creation, and money is more the divine masculine way of the universal abundance system that is built in the architecture of existence. This eventually makes every gender politics superfluous because it goes back to the building blocks of reality on the highest level. The way in which your soul and your twin flame counterpart on the soul level will find this topic in your life to be true is the only way in which you will be rightfully clicked in with every detail of your being and still be able to profess to be unionized in money. As divine feminine counterpart, it is natural to shine in the money created by the divine masculine counterpart or representation of him in your energy system. And the other way around, it is only natural to let him share in the emotional sexual energy wisdom. It is the only place where abundance and energy and money fall on the exact place with ease. You are on a journey to your ultimate abundance architecture when you follow the path to golden flow and harmonious union voluntarily. Your architecture comprises of your abundant energy and money situation, a grid work that will become more filled in with every way that the universe finds fitting for you, the more you surrender to the journey. All right, well, that was a lot more about money and energy and sexuality and love and relationships too. But it really mostly is about the souls of purgatory say that the goal is to make it come true for real. Like, just like for them, they are working things out in purgatory in the direction of going towards heaven for themselves. And that is real to them. It's not a joke to them. It's not an illusion to them. It's not a mirage. Like a ghost, a phantom. Oh, that's funny for the souls in purgatory. Their results of their process of purgatory is not like ghostly creatures that are nothing. It is real to the soul. And the quality that they get out of the healing that they're doing, they will keep in their soul. That is something that will just imprint on their soul forever after. And that stuff is real. even when we talk about souls in purgatory after death, and they're like everything is actually like invisible, right? About this whole topic, you would say. But visible or invisible is not how you judge if something is real or not. It is about, will it leave an indelible mark on your soul that is definitive in your relationship with God? That's real. And it will, whatever happens to you, it will come back and will manifest. If you might come to earth again with a new lifetime to try to develop your soul further, you still have that mark in your soul. It will be still the same. You start to work that out further. Concrete, very concrete. Will manifest things in that new life that are in vibration with that. Having achieved what you did in whatever invisible realm, doesn't matter. Visible or invisible, visible doesn't matter. What matters is, has your soul worked it out, yes or no? And that's how you get twin flame union in general. Work it out in your soul and you will have it. It's really easy. And you don't need anything for it. Because visible or invisible doesn't matter. It's a matter of using your resources, going to your procedure, going to your nod, going to your inner connection with the now. That's what matters. That's how you do it. All right. Well, now we are going to go to what the souls in purgatory have to say to us about union in the department of foundation. So what is the foundation of all of this that we're talking about? And what do they know about foundation? Oh. Well, we're again in the wanding. We're again in the magic. Because this magic spark comes out of this other wand, more classic wand, or more like a Harry Potter kind of wand, right? In the internally anchored process that is attuned to an essential procedure. That's the foundation. So we've talked about what a procedure is, right, in this card. It's like your resources, going back to your soul, going back to your relationship with God, going back to the now, going back to the not. And now we're looking at a card that is about, there's an internally anchored process that is about always going back to the now, the procedure. And that internally anchored process that is now highlighted as the foundation of what the souls in purgatory know about how to go to union. You need to always be about that. You need to always be about how to reach that procedure. Let's read the text of this card. It is called the coming together of creation. That's the foundation. When your inner attunement is completed, the reality of your dreams will come visit you. This is a moment of standing at the beginning of a grand joy. You have fulfilled yourself by now with enough energy to experience peace and depth in yourself. Qualities that you can now share because you are overflowing with it. This moment asks, however, before the feast of creation goes into high speed, some silent enjoyment and participation, some extra rest, taking care of yourself and keep grounding. By not making your creation compulsory, not focus on it too much, it stays full and free. Creation comes because there is space for the universe to fill. not because you take in space by seeing if it's already arrived, by keeping busy with preparations or requirements about what will happen in every tiny detail. Instead of that, focus on your energetic how, your creative identity, your procedure, what we talked about. Mine is transform and manifest. That's how I called my preferred procedure. And I can feel those two movements work together, transform and manifest, in my body and energy field as a fruitful self motivating action. This is how I can be with it in a sensitive way. And that is my focus while my source arranges further for my creation in the steps that I do not have control over. Through letting the energy circle in my own space, I prepare for new co creation to come in that fits exactly. Gratitude is appropriate and helpful in this stage. You have arrived at this plateau of creation. Enjoy this moment with full attention and see the puzzle pieces come together. Your magnetic power is large at this point. Be conscious of how you show another who and what you are by how you act. You will be followed when you can stay present with an empty space full of vibrating energy. Awesome. Awesome. This is the very last card of the series, of the normal series. We also have this series that is like, it's like the big arcana in the classical tarot. This was the last card. Okay, interesting. Foundation. We talked about the foundation according to the souls in purgatory. The coming together of creation, everything starts to fall together when you're continually in the process of, oh yeah, where is my procedure? How do I get to my how? How do I get to my how that leads me to source in the now? If you live like that, things will fall into place. That's the foundation of things for union. And it's also why being with your true twin flame in the now is not difficult in itself. You just have to make this a lifestyle. And if that temporarily means that you'll go through this purgatory experience until you're at the brink of heaven and then enter it, that's fine. You still keep that as a lifestyle. And that's why we also are going to open up the school, or more like the group year program that keeps on going round and round over 24 daily life topics, attuned in on the union level, the union vibration. That's why that is advised for you to do that, to take that, to come in and to keep at it, because it is a matter of a lifestyle. That is a very good, positive lifestyle that produces all of this, that will get you there and keep you there, that will manifest all of this in a sustainable way. That's the foundation. You will have to keep on doing it. And the essence, say the souls in purgatory, is this. The essence is taking ideas out of the mental field. A 3.1. Well, this egg is like pregnant with ideas, isn't it? It's vibrating. That's the essence. Well, sort of looks like the essence is that you're sort of going to where this egg is vibrating with the biggest idea of everything and all, with where you live in union with your twin flame and where it can be born. And I found the text. It's called Pregnant of Meaning, the essence, according to the souls in purgatory. The reality is pregnant of a new reality, the one you desire, that you dream of, and for which you are born. Heaven is true. However, often not yet visible in your current life because your perception is not fully attuned to your frequency yet, to this frequency yet. It may be hard to believe that perception is the only difference. It may be a fundamental change regarding how you think about yourself and the world to learn that reality is so fundamentally up for change when your inner state of being changes. The entire reality you witness, including your own body, is the result of invisible inner directions. These directions in you can become more and more attuned to heavenly frequencies. This eventually will give you heaven as the outer world. Wow, 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 wow. So, yeah, the souls in purgatory say that the essence is that we are on the way towards heaven, which is an idea in God that opens up. The egg is coming out. When you keep at this lifestyle of knowing where the procedure is, so that you will birth the goal, which is to make it come true for real and physical and as an indelible mark on your soul that is physical when you're physical and that is still concrete when you're not physical because it's in your soul. Wow. This eventually will give you heaven as the outer world. And it continues. Feel how much reality is pregnant of meaning, energy, and the other soul qualities. Be assured that this is correct. The world is an egg that needs to be hatched by inner warmth. Learning to feel at home in a lifestyle in which your inner world is warmed as much as possible is therefore very advisable. Well, there's a lifestyle again that we need. Of course, this comprises of, among others, being kind and gentle with yourself in all circumstances. This does not mean that you do not carry illusions anymore. This path makes illusion disappear after you have seen them. Right, that's part of the work that the souls in purgatory are doing. You are the life artist with a union that can be made come true. Hatching your egg means to assist transforming the world to a heaven by becoming conscious of your own union among other unions and taking on your life as creator. You are aware of the possibilities of inner growth, indivisible. You see yourself and the world as a product thereof, of inner growth. You are created to work with these two sides of the same coin to optimize them so they vibrate on a frequency of heaven and your unique union that is relevant in it. Right. Inner growth, inner growth. That's what it is. And it does create visible, tangible things as well. They always come together. They're two sides of the coin. And they both vibrate on a frequency of heaven. And that's what it's all about. That's where we're going, according to the souls in purgatory. And this reading, again, was so bang on, it couldn't be more correct. Like, I can't believe it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Hmm. So, let's add some other cards because why not? This is the Mary Magdalene Oracle deck. Okay, this one wants to come out. Co-creation. So this is a co-creation again between me and the souls in purgatory. And the soul in purgatory that I worked together with yesterday that was picked by God, by Divine Mother herself for me. And it creates more of a co-creation between you and God as well. And it creates through that for you, a co-creation between you and your twin flame. And that's a forever co-creation that is timeless and sustainable. But you need to tune into it in a correct way. Okay. Picking decks intuitively here. Okay. This one? These are two. Well, then two. Okay. Divine Mother comes forward herself as well to show herself. Our Lady of Creative Choice. We talked a lot about my methodology as well in all of this, and that is actually called creative identity. Because we are all creative beings, and the true creative thing is that we all have a soul. Our Lady of Creative Choice. Very interesting. Never came out before. And Our Lady who gives peace. It's not just any creation, it's a creation of peace that we're in the business of here. True inner peace. Our Lady of Creative Choice says, you have my power within you, and you are free beyond wildest imagination. Do you know that you are a slave to no thing and to no one? You are a divine being. With the power of creative choice, you can create worlds, my beloved. Even the smallest choice contains great creative power. Do not cast your power aside, my child. Choose to trust me, to live with an open, vulnerable heart, and to let my grace flood through you in rapturous waves of light. Choose wisely, creatively, and well. Yet do not fear your power, for the best choice you can make is to learn from all your experiences. I will guide you to use your power to create healing difference in your life now. You have at your disposal the power of heaven. I will guide you to use it well. Our Lady who gives peace says, you have been holding on to a deep concern, and I ask you to hand it over to me now. Allow me to offer you a gift in exchange for your devotion and trust. I offer you the gift of peace, peace that all is now resolved, peace that the material situation is flowing towards perfect completion. My peace be with you now, my child. And we have something awesome today because the souls in purgatory also wanted me to give you, or give themselves, however you want to call it, a crystal. And it is quantum quattro. Very interesting. If it speaks to you, then you can certainly get a piece of this stone online, sent to you after you bought it, and work with it, and it will give you a lot. But you can also screenshot this image, print it, put the image under your pillow or in your pocket or something, and it will already help you. What I did last summer was working with a crystal that I bought, which could also be that you make it, but in this case I bought an essence made from this crystal, the vibration of this crystal. And that was very powerful. That really worked very well. So if you find an essence of quantum quattro on Etsy or something, that could be something that could help you to really take in the whole message of what we're talking about today. Synergy. Wow. So this is for sure a synergetic message because it's a synergy between me and the soul in purgatory that I co-create with. It's a synergy between all these invisible forces that eventually becomes so concrete of a support for your twin flame lifestyle that you can easily manifest it. Quantum Quattro has a very big healing power. It has a spectacular effect on your physical vitality and makes sure that there will be a huge shift and integration of energy inside of you. You are a complex person and you are looking for fulfillment. You are being empowered to look for all facets inside yourself that are meaningful in this situation and accept the ones that feel valuable. Also, learn from your mistakes that you might come across. Forgive and let go. Free yourself from being a slave to other people. Isn't that what we just heard in Divine Mother's messages as well? Go away from undermining relationships. Heal the child in yourself. Recognize the resources that you can take from in a fruitful way. That is a true co creation. Karma aspects in you need healing. You might have asked something in your heart, but that question may not be so direct as you think it is. Look at it from more sides. The power of the sum of the whole is much bigger than some parts alone. I'm trying to translate this in the now. When you do have all the information, you cannot be defeated anymore. You will evolve quickly. It has a very high frequency. Holistic healing for the soul. Well, this sounds really good to me. Absolutely. Beautiful. Let me show you the Quantum Quattro again. Beautiful. So the Dragon Fae, they want to say something as well about this. This one? Oh, this are this two cards. Two cards. Grandmother magic. I console you. Grandmother magic wants to be with you. It's like Divine Mother, but then in the Dragon Fae form. Whatever is going on in this process that you're in, she wants to console you, be with you, support you. And the Dragon Fae, the listener, is also here for this holy silence. Wow, it is as if this sacred silence is wrapping itself around you to care for you and support you and heal you and console you. And from the Divine Abundance cards, right action. Aparigraha literally means let everything that wants to go, go. And everything that wants to come, come. That's the right kind of action here. Aparigraha is a Vedic term, it's a yogic term that we also used with my first spiritual teacher. But outside of that context, I've never heard it, so that's interesting, right? Anyway, so this is Sobek. There might be something that is just very much a fundamental fear of you. It's like an instinctual fear. It's like your original fear. Research that fear and let it go by becoming more present yourself, more present than the fear. So back. This is like a primordial creature, like lurking around on the earth, like fear. Yeah, I mean, like, that's what we're letting go here. That's what you let go in the purgatory with right action, like letting go of what doesn't belong, letting go of the fear. Which is, the thing that we talked about so extensively. Letting go of the fear is you recognizing where your inner road is towards your source connection, which is your procedure. But to find it, you have to let go of your fear. To find it and keep at it and stay at it and sustain that connection and find it back all the time so that it becomes a lifestyle is like making that it's so that sadness will be squeezed out of you like a sponge. And will and like Divine Mother is there to embrace you while that is happening. That's really what we're talking about. That's the process in you. And the angel answers. Angel answers. Is this what we're talking about? Yeah, there are big happy changes for you to come when you accept this whole message today. Well, that's clear, right? You might be wrung out like a sponge of your fear. In the lifestyle of going all the time back to your true inner road towards your source. Which will lead you through purgatory into heaven, together with your twin flame. But that implies big happy changes. Amazing, enormous, big, happy changes. And that's a guarantee. And, oh, well, okay, this one. The Life Purpose deck, energy healing. It is an energy healing. For sure. So, and because it is an energy healing, the core is that it's an energy healing, right? So it's not the core that I am in purgatory on the brink of going to heaven, but I still have a form. My form is not dead. It's an energy healing. It's not a body change in itself or something, although my body changed as a result of the energy healing. But the energy healing part is secondary. Primary is the healing of your relationship between you and source. And that results in an energy healing. That's how you need to see it. So now we're going to look at the Oracle of Change, because it's an Oracle of Change. But you will be protected. Moonwolf, I will protect you. That's cute. The Moonwolf is protecting us. Don't worry about it. You are protected. Maybe a vampire is also protecting us. We don't know. Going over boundaries, weak points, error, going against something. Well, we're being protected from that. And when it's us that has the error, we will purge it. That's the process. So don't be surprised when you get to understand that you lived in large errors before, and now you understand things correctly when you're in such a process. That's the whole point, that your errors may be corrected. We're not sinful people. You are completely your original soul self, how you are in your union. That is still complete. You go back to that state. But in that process to go back to that state, who you truly are and were and always were in your union version of yourself, in the original purity of yourself, in that process, you will correct your errors. It's not that there are no errors, there are. You will be corrected, so that you can embody that pure self that is still complete here and that was never spoiled. That's the process. And the Native American deck gives us this. It looks like these masks. Maybe that's about the masks. This didn't come out yet earlier, I think, which is very interesting in itself. We had other things that didn't come out yet before. Very interesting, no? The Divine Rogue. Contrast. The Rogue is an anti-hero. The Transgressor. Oh, the Transgressor. Just like this transgression card. And then we have this transgression card. The rebel who mocks and overturns social norms through swindles, fraud, and jokes. This trickster brings valuable teachings about the nature of opposites. He brings us into situations of exaggerated hunger, unbridled sexual yearnings, and unlimited wandering, teaching us the dangers and benefits of impulsive behavior. The masks represent the bad brother, the sun at dusk, and the dead, who are exorcised by reproducing their features. By reproducing and imprisoning these energies, we can better understand, control, and redistribute them for the good of all. Always remember to look at the other side of things. There are two sides to every story, and benefits and risks in anything. Contrast jokes, tricks, twists, impulsive actions, access wisdom through understanding, unexpected results. There are the masks. Very interesting. Well, these are the things that you will meet on your journey through purgatory, where you will learn and correct your errors. And they have to be brought out by some force. And this is that force. You will meet all these flip sides of the coin that live in you. Because, well, I mean, often people develop themselves more and more into this spiritual deepening, and then they get to know that they are having huge trauma suddenly that comes forward. Sometimes even when they didn't know that before, and they weren't suspicious for it even. But then it comes forward that they actually have from their early childhood, often, like all kinds of imbalanced things in your psychology that find its root in your early childhood environment and development that was unhealthy, insane sometimes, in very many ways, very many subtle ways sometimes, but nevertheless. And what is subtle in your childhood can become big in adulthood, nevertheless. That's how that works. That's developmental psychology. Is not something I'm making up. It's normal, it's scientific. And then they get into the spiritual development of twin flame healing. And then they might be like, okay, so now we're just going deeper here. And wouldn't it be lovely if I'm just, you know, growing more and more into a situation where I'm completely embraced in my victim self of being such a sad child from my childhood. But that is not where you will end up. That's not the situation where you will go. And that is also not the healing potential of purgatory experience that we're researching today. Because you won't end up as a sad victim that is being deeply cared for by an ever-giving mother. That's not how you end up. It's also not what you want. You want to be a whole, mature, functioning individual together with your true twin flame in an actual relationship where you relate. And where the idea of trauma has been so much processed in a certain way that I will speak of in a second, that it's completely gone out of the blueprint of your union energy between you that you share in the heart, in the depth of it. That it's gone there, completely gone. That's where you want to go. And you reach that by meeting how you yourself are a subtle abuser instead of the parent that was the subtle abuser that did that to you, or whatever it was. Something like that, often, right? That's the inner work that needs to be done there. And that is the inner work that souls in purgatory actually do. They really do. And that's how they're purified. And that is the only way how any trauma that you may have gotten will be resolved completely to never return and leave no marks at all between the both of you as twin flames. No marks will be completely gone. It's the only way. The only way, also including all kinds of therapy and psychology and what have you. Only way. And to meet that, you will meet in purgatory tricksters that will trigger the awfulness out of you forward so that you can deal with it. It's really true, people. That's how it goes. And it'll heal you. It'll heal you. Let's see if we can get a personal message from the personal messages deck. Oh, okay. I am prepared to give up the illusion that someone else makes me happy. Exactly. Just like we talked about, that someone else becomes the mother that is eternally embracing you and cuddling you. Well, that's the task of God. That's the task of Divine Mother, but not of another person. Did you know that even your twin flame doesn't make you happy? The point is that you are under Divine Mother directly. She makes you happy. And you allow your twin flame to be in that direct connection too, in their kind of way. And then you are free to connect with each other. And in that freedom, you actually commit to each other. That's how it works. But they don't make you happy. Isn't that interesting? The spiritual messages. Do I follow my head, or do I allow myself to surrender to the choice of my heart? And the choice of your heart makes you go through these purifying experiences. But it's not defined by it. And it will lead to heaven. So let's do a heart message, right? From the, what are they called? Oracle of the Roses, crowning, initiation, birth, rebirth, going to a new phase. Yeah, when you allow yourself to be surrendered to the heart, you go to the new phase. Also, when you're like me in a purgatory experience and you move on to heaven, that is going to a new phase. You'll be crowned for this phase. You made it, and you'll continue. It's like an initiation and a birth of something new. And it's always the heart that does that. Souls in purgatory know that, because no matter what they think they know, what they have reached in effort when they were still alive as a human, it doesn't matter for God, for their relationship with God. God only looks at their heart. And that's what they're working through to move on towards heaven. So now we're going to get a card that is an energy point, 5A. So that is the heart. That is the heart. Also, this is the symbol of the heart and the number of the heart in the front, relating. Well, kind of clear, right? Talking about the heart. There's the heart. I'm just really impressed by this reading. Let's get some fun stuff here. Let's see what we can make of this. I think I got a lot of letters actually. 4, 4. Well, these are the angels. 4, 4, A, C. A, C is the airco. T, W, H, 2, H, no, smiley. O, S, G, C, 6 or 9, K, F, 6 or 9. Well, let's see. This is always like so much fun. I don't know. I have 2 C's, 2 4s, 2 6s or 2 9s. Twin flame. Twin flame smiles. That's where we're going to. Souls in purgatory, please help me. Whack. So you may get a whack on the head in this experience. But it will be okay. But it'll be okay. It'll be okay in the end. It's just correcting your errors. So here's your co-creation again. They're co-creating with us, right? It's like putting things in the wok, like Chinese cooking. And then we're just making something together out of that as twin flames. I have a word here. What is that? Yeah, it's like a word for witch, hag. Okay. Okay. 244, 96. And when I look at the numbers, we have the 2, the 4, the 6, and the 9. And when I look at the energy fields that I have with my 9-point energy system that I developed with the Divine Mother, then we see that that is about the numbers of the energy fields that are about your personal grounding, your personal connecting, and we have that 2 times the 4, so that's you and them, you and the twin flame. Your intimate connection around your stomach, around your belly, I need to say. And we have the 6, which is the field of communication, and we have the 9, which is the communication to the world of the divine. So that's a lot about your personal identity under the divine influence and how you co-create with your true twin flame with that in intimacy in the flesh while being the deep spiritual thing at the same time, and how you communicate with that. And that needs to be purified, and then it will happen, then it will work. And now I see the word for guest, but then spelled in the Dutch way, which is my native tongue. Guest. I need to find, and then the T is the last letter. I need to find a solution to show these letters to you. Yes, this looks like nothing, but okay. You are each other's guest in the one castle that is your union building bubble, right? And that'll all be erected in the correct way when you go through your purgatory experience. Yeah, that's what the soul in purgatory is showing me now. I'm now shown how that purification and then going into heaven is what will really make it work between you and God, and that is the spiritual model for what also is with your twin flame. And they are there, but not all souls in purgatory right now have chosen that as a reality that they want right now in that. And that's why it's in principle so. But if you truly choose that and you're within this new level of vibration that God rolls out now in the universe for you, this new paradigm, that will be possible for you, that the twin flame is actually there with you. But they will also make that come true in the invisible for the most of those souls in purgatory right now, afterlife, without having chosen that. But that will be sort of in principle, that will be purified, you and your twin flame there. But to live that in the flesh right now, that is something that is, well, that's what we can do on earth while going through this experience in the flesh, committing to this new paradigm. That's like a new opportunity we have here, which is just awesome. Yeah, I see that they want us to take that. That's good. We need to go there now. Yeah. So, and now we're going to go, because I feel like I'm ready with my letters and numbers, to the Golden Tarot. I think that'll be the last thing that we're gonna do. Yeah. So let's see. Maybe we're gonna get a couple cards. Can we get a couple cards to close this off? To like have some summary or something, or like an image of what we just have discussed. I see one moving. That's already one. Like a summary of what we have discussed, or like, yeah, how to say. Just like, yeah, how to close this off. Okay. Okay, this one too. All right, 3 cards. So the first card is this one. Let's see. The Queen of Swords in reverse. So normally she looks like this. It's like a powerful, autonomous woman that also has this big sword. So she can cut things off, close things off, forge her way forward as well with a sword. And she is in reverse. And then we have this one. Let's see what we have. Knight of Swords, communication in a sort of a frantic way. Ten of Swords in reverse. Normally it's like this. It's like an ending. That was like sort of a backstabbing ending. It's in reverse, so now it's over. Let me have a look how this looks together. Well, I just feel it's really it's saying a lot about. I mean, life has given you so many backstabs. Sometimes you conclude that after your life, when you're in purgatory, after your physical life, or when you're in a purgatory experience like me right now during life with your twin flame process, in which you see, like, wow, I was backstabbed so many times. I was by life or by people or by circumstances that just ruined me to the bone. But then in purgatory, you start to get all these swords out of you and start to see, like, oh, now we're going in the right direction. Now we're getting all these swords out of me. Piece by piece, all these swords are coming out of your back. And you face what that meant for you. And that's how it gets healed. It means that you're slaying that dragon. This is like the dragon slayer on the picture. The purgatory experience is that dragon slayer experience. And this is the same. It's like this wise woman that knows now where to cut. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. And not in the psychological boundary way, but in the spiritual way, in the everlasting way. And she understands that she doesn't need to be a kind, flirtatious girl all the time. She's just severing connections to go to truth, severing unhealthy bonds to go to a purified truth where you will find yourself in union, relating to your true twin flame. because that's not an unhealthy bond and it can't be severed. And then again, the purgatory process is getting all these swords out of your bag and slaying the dragon, which includes the dragon inside of you, by facing what's going on and be corrected in your errors. And you'll become this autonomous woman under God. That freely chooses to be united with her true, eternal lover. So I hope that helps. Wow, that was really such a profound experience for me to be with the souls in purgatory yesterday and today, after a whole process of arriving here in my own process. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. Yeah, and I hope this helps. And I didn't even say how we got here. I mean, I was in my own process and whatnot. I I told you that. But actually, we got in this reading exactly today to do that online for you in this series because last week the letter T that was like this flew all over the place here and landed on the floor. And you can see that in last week's reading where the T is gone. And then I was like, oh, that's funny. The tea, that's like the tea. And I'm drinking tea right now. How about that? Which is slang for the gossip. The gossip about. So what? And then I was like, oh, when I looked into my schedule, I saw that it was today, November 2nd. So we would need to, just like the week before, I was going to do a reading of the Universal Christ because that card flipped out all around me and on the floor in the week before that in the reading. And now the tea was flipping out and on the floor. So I was like, we need to talk about the gossip. And when I looked at the date, it was the 2nd of November. So that's All Souls Day. So that would mean, I thought that means we need to talk about the gossip of All Souls. So that's what we have done today. Now you know it. That was the gossip of all souls and how they have come through me today. And I hope that helps. And next week, we will be going deeper in all the incredible gifts and blessings that come forward in my work all the time, with that I share with the people. And yeah, what that all is and how you can experience that too. Because there is such an enormous, oh, like high degree of blessings coming forward and forward to the people that I work with all the time. Whether you pay for it or not, it's just coming and coming and coming. It's really, really amazing. And yeah, we're going to research a little bit more about what that is, where it comes from, what has all transpired already, and what will transpire when later this season the school will be open to year course program. Yeah, you want that. So prepare yourself. It comes soon and it's going to be called Twin Flame Abundance. Now, see you next week and in the school year program, of course, also as well. Love from Petra.